Hi, I'm Joseph with Lamont Bros, and today we are answering the internet's most asked questions about kitchen remodeling. How much do cabinets cost? Well, cabinets can cost anywhere from $5,000 if you want to assemble them yourself to $250,000 if you have a very high-end luxury kitchen. There's a big range because it's almost like asking how much does a house cost? Well, a house can cost anywhere from, $350,000 to $35 million. It just depends on what's in the house, what's included, how large the house is, the quality of materials, what it does, and the same is true with your kitchen cabinets. So if you're talking about a relatively medium-sized, middle-of-the-road housing stock, maybe a $750,000 house here in the Portland, Oregon area, your cabinet package for that kind of home generally fits into maybe three categories. The first is a do-it-yourself. I'm assembling panels from IKEA or something like that. And that is going to be in that under $10,000 range typically, but you're doing a lot of the labor to install it and put it together. If you don't want to assemble it yourself, the next option in price up is an import product. So these are cabinets that are built generally overseas and they are shipped here. They're generally shipped flat pack and then assembled here in the United States. They're limited to certain sizes. You can't customize the width, their height, their depth. Basically, what they made overseas is what you get here. They tend to be a lower price point, but significant limitations with design. Often these products, they're aiming to be a lower price point, so they tend to cut corners on quality in terms of hardware and some other things. The next step up from that is a semi-custom product. These are mostly semi-mass manufactured here in the United States, but made to order. What I mean by mass manufacture is I mean that they're put through factories that produce a lot of volume per day. I've walked through some of these factories and you can see that the incentive structure, everybody's position and everything is focused on pushing product through quickly. But the advantages are you can customize the size, width, depth because everything's made to order. And in general, most of these companies, if there is something wrong with a cabinet, they will replace it relatively easily without a lot of fuss because it's much, much easier for them to just pump another cabinet through than increase the quality level of all the cabinets throughout the factory. And so I have seen quite a few finish flaws and other types of flaws come through across manufacturers in this category. If you choose this for your remodel, you can almost expect that sometimes, not every time, occasionally. And then a step up from that is a really big category called custom. And this is anything from a factory that's kind of a step up from one of these production factories that do semi-custom to somebody that does actual custom cabinets. There's quite a few good companies in this category. That can take your price range for that average size kitchen, anywhere from about $35,000 to maybe $70,000, depending on your product and your features and the finish and everything that goes into it. And then above that is really where you get into luxury cabinets. So these would be high-end, name brand European cabinets. This would be high-end luxury cabinets here that have a lot of integrated lighting, that have very custom features, or cabinetry that is a particular high-end company. Say the company owns their own forest and manufactures the wood sustainably and turns that into your cabinet, and it's a longer process, is a product that many people want to pay for because it is so tied locally and very sustainable. There's a multitude of options in that custom category, but that's kind of that above, $60,000 threshold for that average kitchen in maybe a, $750,000 home. So above that range there is really true luxury. And many of the kitchens that we put these cabinets in are much, much larger kitchens than, say, your average kitchen in a $750,000 home. And so that's where you can get not only the price per cabinet is more, but then there's a lot more cabinets that go into the kitchen and you push that price range of, $250,000 or more just for the cabinet package. These cabinets often integrate into woodwork into the rest of the home, where the rest of the home has identical or similar woodwork to the cabinetry. You have built-in bookcases, you have built-in cabinetry other places in the home other than the kitchen. And the kitchen itself may have a butler's pantry or more cabinets that flow into the dining room or the living room, and it's all integrated. And so your kitchen cabinet package can be a lot more than just kitchen cabinets. Next, how much does it cost to replace kitchen cabinets? The short answer is it generally costs anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 to replace kitchen cabinets on an average house. There's a lot that impacts, and the kitchen cabinet replacement cost isn't the only thing you have to do. I've been asked several times by people to replace kitchen cabinets out of underneath a very expensive slab countertop, which is very difficult, if not impossible. When you replace your kitchen cabinets, you're really looking at replacing your countertops, your backsplash, often getting into electrical and plumbing. And many times when you do this, you may want to change or improve the layout, which then impacts your flooring. All of this impacts the paint for the room. And while you're there, normally people want to improve the lighting. And so kitchen cabinets become a cascading thing that it just makes sense to do this other piece while you're there. But if we just limit it to kitchen cabinets, you really have to replace the countertop and the backsplash. And if you don't change the layout, you can stop there. What that really looks like for us is a pull and replace kitchen remodel. We're pulling all the things, putting them back in the same locations. So a pull and replace kitchen remodel can really range in cost. If you're a really scrappy and a do-it-yourself, or you're gonna build your cabinets out of plywood yourself and pour concrete countertops, you can do a kitchen remodel for $10,000 or less. But if you're going to hire a laborer to put together your IKEA cabinets and do some inexpensive laminate countertops, you're probably talking in the $40,000 to $50,000 range. But if you're going to hire a professional general contractor or design build firm, and you want to get semi-custom or custom cabinets, you're really talking probably starting around $100,000 and going up from there for an average size kitchen remodel these days for a pull and replace. Now, we've done them for less. Small kitchens can get under that, and we've done them for a lot more, but that's generally what you're talking. The next question is how to choose kitchen cabinets. The short answer is identify what your priorities are. How long are you going to be in the house? The durability, do you have dogs, kids? And then choose the products and materials and the cabinetry based on those criteria. So there's a lot of things to think about when you look at kitchen cabinets, but the first question I would ask you is, how long are you going to be in the house? And in general, how rough are you or your children or your dogs on the things that are in your home? Because the durability of the cabinet may or may not be a very important factor. If you're going to be in your home for 5+ years and you have children that are anything like most of the children I know, you should emphasize the durability when you're picking out cabinets. And you should be wary of finishes that are not durable. One of the finishes that is very popular but also not very durable is paint. Especially white paint shows a lot and can chip. Even high quality factory finishes can easily chip. And so if you are in the category of, I have several children, I'm going to be here for a long period of time, I highly recommend considering for the lower cabinets a stained wood product or a laminate product, because laminate is very durable from dings and scratches and things that kids and dogs tend to do. Durability is really important. I also think if you are in a high use kitchen with kids or just highly use it yourself, the quality of hardware in the cabinet is very important. If you go cheap on that and get an import knockoff hardware instead of a Bloom or something that is a high quality hardware, then you're going to regret it later when you have to systematically go through and replace hinges and drawer glides and all of that as you have the kitchen. So that's finish and hardware. Then the line of cabinets come to play, where if you go with an import cabinet, you're going to be limited on size If you go with a domestic semi-custom cabinet, then you can customize the size, but there's a limited amount of things you can customize, and then you can go with a high-end custom cabinet. These generally have more to do with the amount of options, color options, size options, different type of cabinet options, than they have to do with durability. Other than the hardware, which if you go with an import cabinet, you're probably just getting an import hardware, but not always. In general, move away from the durability question and the how long are you going to be in the house question, and think about, what am I going to do in my kitchen? Am I building a chef's kitchen where I'm going to cook in my kitchen? Am I building an entertainer's kitchen? Am I just trying to get rid of this ugly kitchen? I don't even really use my kitchen very much, but I want an aesthetic masterpiece. What am I going to do in my kitchen, and how am I going to use it? And then customize your cabinets to that end. You might be able to get away with semi-custom. You very well may want to do a custom cabinet, even if you have a small kitchen, so you can utilize the space better. But that's in general how I would recommend you go about choosing the kitchen. Identify how long you're going to be in the house, your durability needs, and then the needs of the kitchen itself, and customize the cabinets to that. So the next question is, what are the different types of cabinets? And this question you can take any direction. There's finish material, there's box construction, and there's manufacturing process. In general, there are 4 different types of cabinets that you might end up purchasing. The first is what I refer to as a flat pack cabinet. These come from overseas, and they are panels, and somebody in your house puts them together. There are even local companies that will do flat pack cabinets. They ship them to your house. Somebody, you or somebody you hire, put them together in your house. And those cabinets generally are drop ship cabinets. They're already pre-built, so the lead times on those cabinets are generally a couple of weeks. The next version is an import cabinet. These are not customizable at all. They're pre-made cabinets, and these generally are basically the flat pack cabinets that have been pre-assembled by somebody else. Those cabinets tend to be able to be shipped to your home in about 3 to 4 weeks. The next version is made-to-order semi-custom cabinets that are generally made here in the United States for you, and you can customize the sizes. You can get those in about 5 to 7 weeks, depending on other factors. And then finally, you can get custom cabinets. And this is a very large category and can range anything from just a minor step up from semi-custom to highly custom cabinets that integrate into the woodwork in the rest of your home. And the lead times on these can be anywhere from about 8 weeks to 24 weeks. So the different types of finish material that can be put onto cabinets are in general a laminate or TSS, so a synthetic manufactured material that goes on the outside of generally a pressboard panel, and that gets manufactured into a cabinet. You can also have some various form of wood that gets painted. Sometimes this is an MDF, sometimes a water-resistant MDF, many times a maple. And then you can get a wood that is stained and finished. So with box material, you basically have a plywood and you have an MDF or furniture board. With plywood, it makes a fantastic box material because it's very, very stable. Your hardware is going to grip into it very well. It is much easier to repair. It's not going to blow out like a screw wheel in MDF sometimes. If it ever does get wet, it doesn't get damaged nearly as much as an MDF. Now, an MDF is cheaper and it does have some advantages. With an MDF product, it in general is actually a little more stable than a plywood, and so that's why people normally use it to lay up laminate or melamine on. The other advantage to an MDF is the width and thickness is more consistent. So sometimes a plywood is going to almost indistinguishably be a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner, which one panel doesn't make a difference. But if you add a bunch of panels together in a run of cabinets, it might throw that cabinet run off 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch. And in general, you're going to get that problem less with an MDF product. And say if you use MDF and you are concerned about moisture, one of the things I highly recommend is using, say, European leveling legs on the bottom. So the box is not actually touching the floor. So if the dishwasher does flood, it doesn't matter because you've got these European leveling legs, which are plastic generally, that come down to touch the floor. Or using in specific areas in the kitchen a moisture-resistant MDF. That is my recommendation most of the time for a painted door or an application like that, because if the door chips and moisture gets in it, it'll often swell. But if it's a moisture-resistant MDF, it takes paint better, it's more stable like we just talked about, but it's also not going to swell like that. If you're interested in remodeling your home in the Portland area, check out our website at lamontbrothers.com.